Hello, Uruguay. How many of you have been to Finland, so can you raise your hands? That many. I thought that I'm too far away from home, but that's great. Many of you know our country. It's like this weather, you mean, in summertime in Finland. But the countries are actually quite similar, which is surprising to me. Of course, both countries are quite small. Finland is only 5 million population, and it's important to be on top of the things when you're a small country. You are close to big neighbors, so you have to be agile and do things fast, in the right way, of course. Finland is well known for Santa Claus, sauna, and hopefully in the future, circular economy, although I don't think we will compete with Santa Claus still. But I was asked to tell what we do in circular economy, and it has been an exciting journey so far. But let's go through the actual process here. But before that, Sitra is an innovation itself, so we are not a governmental institution as such. We are under the parliament, but very independent, the kind of think-do tank. And the operation we have is quite innovative. We don't get any budget funding from the government. We only use the interest rate of our endowment capital, which is 800 million euros. So it's a very sustainable way of operating. And we don't have our own strategy. We have the strategy for Finland, and that's very important for us as well. But then again, how did we start our work in circular economy? This was the big thinking, at least from our side, that we should decouple the economic growth from the use of natural resources and pollution with circular economy as a tool. So it's not an end result for us. But then again, we also think that we should decouple perceived well-being from economic growth with the anticipatory healthcare actions. And as Finland has quite good competence in the digital space, we think that we can do it together in Finland, with international partners, of course. We looked at how wasteful the system is 3-4 years ago with McKinsey, and in Europe things are not that good either. So there's a lot of waste, and not only material, but many other things, from office spaces to cars, as we have learned also during these 2 days. And of course, we have to change the system so that we don't have to increase that much of certain natural resources. People have been talking also here, what is circular economy? We are very practical in Finland. We take those elements that are important to our goals, and we see it as a system, digital and service-based circular economy. And there are many different aspects to it, but that's the most important, that we try to look at it very holistically and change the system in Finland. The second thing we wanted to do before starting the work in Finland, we wanted to look what is happening in Finland and outside, just to compare that where we are in the picture. And of course, the neighboring countries, Nordics, are close to us, and of course we compete with each other in a friendly way. But there is many other things happening outside of Europe as well, and it's great to learn from your experience, and thank you for all the meetings with the ministries here as well. After this, we wanted to make the business case of circular economy, and we did a study with McKinsey about the business potential, and we added to that the kind of agricultural nutrient recycling perspective. And there's a good potential in Finland, and it was very important that it was written to the kind of CEO language, so that the companies understand this, that is also the business side of it, not only the environmental. The Finnish economy is of course a bit different, so it doesn't make sense to go through these. But the interesting thing was that the sharing second-hand was a quite big opportunity, at least in the Finnish landscape. And for example, IKEA, the furniture manufacturing, when they were thinking where to introduce their take-back model of their furniture, they came to Finland because Finnish citizens value second-hand goods. It's really good, and it's good for the environment. But there was one tricky thing behind it. It was that they wanted to have already assembled IKEA furnitures. So that was the thing, and not the environmental aspect in it. So it really varies what is the kind of customer need in it. The second thing that you need to kind of tackle is the politicians, of course. They are interested in jobs and growth and jobs. So basically, this is studied by Green Alliance from UK. to showcase that, at least in the Finnish context, we need to go up, even beyond reuse or remanufacture to services, and kind of make sure that there's jobs not only in the kind of regional way in recycling, but also in the service space and in the higher value-added chain as well. Then we decided that, okay, fine, it's nice to experiment in certain areas, but should we have the view of whole Finland and what to do in a national level? And then we introduced the idea, and we got the backing from the ministries and from the businesses, NGOs, and we decided to do it. And what was important was that there was a cross-parliamentary support for the actions. So the government was really looking into this, so that's important, of course. But there was the kind of business case and also the jobs potential included. And we got actually recognition globally for the roadmap, as it was the first one of its kind. One thing was that Finland is good to making strategies, but this time we wanted actions, kind of a combination of strategy and action plan. And the idea was to actually go from bottom up, from concrete pilots to domestic market references and then exports. Of course, small market, you have to go outside as well. So it was very kind of concrete what we wanted to do. Then usually when I talk about the process, people are like, okay, don't tell to my boss, because it was crazy project. It took 4 months time and it involved 1,000 people. So, but it's important to kind of narrow it down to certain time interval, because you get kind of conflicting views, and you want to go forward anyhow. So it's important that it's not like 2-year process in our opinion. And we collected many ideas from citizens even, and we actually took 66 actions in the first plan. So it's a dynamic, so it's not like a one window to Finland. What was important was that we decided that there are certain focus areas. Of course, we don't want to have silos, but the process ended up of having those 5 focus areas, or 4, and the common action is more like a horizontal actions for Finland. So sustainable food system, forest-based loops, technical loops, transportation and logistics, and common actions. And we established also public-private partnership model here to steer the work. So we invited the minister and private board professional to lead the work, and engaged 20 high-level persons from NGOs to private companies to ministries to kind of steer the work. And also we invited different ministries. There was yesterday talk that it's a bit difficult to engage them in dialogue. So we invited from Ministry of Education to Environment, Agriculture, Transportation, Economy to work with us together with this roadmap. So I was asked to tell about the policy measures. So roadmap actually have a structure that there's the policy recommendations, not like exactly what to do, but more or less to bring out from the focus areas the important topics that the policymakers should work on. And then we had flagship projects that are most important projects in the focus areas, and then smaller pilots. Of course, the system here is a bit different, but maybe the food system is one that we have common interest, and there, of course, nutrient recycling is something that should be improved. It's, of course, the EU thing as well in Finland. Food waste decreasing and biogas increase. And in the forest-based, which is also in common with 2 countries, the idea is really to look at the value of wood, not the volume, and go beyond that to wood construction, design furnitures, biochemicals, you name it. And also in transport and logistics, it's about like the system chain we try to engage in Finland. It's not very easy, but we should get rid of fossil fuel cars, etc. in this plan. Then about just a couple of examples, what are the projects that we have been working in the roadmap? Personally, I have 16 million euros to invest in 2 years' time in these focus areas. And we started from common actions because the international evaluation of the roadmap said that you should start from affecting or influencing next generation. So we have invested now around 2 to 3 million euro so that from kindergarten to university level, students will learn about circular economy, not as a separate topic, but as integrated in Finnish curriculum, which is of course quite well known globally as well. So next year, 60,000 students will learn about circular economy, for example, in high school business classes. Then another common action was to have a World Circular Economy Forum as a platform for global discussions, and I will come to that as well. But then in these other areas, like technical loops, we have invested in a new technology that should separate valuable metals from electronics in a much more efficient way. That's the kind of recycle part. In sustainable food system, like we heard yesterday from Netherlands, kind of circular agricultural studies we are making with the farmers and many other things as well. So it's very interesting and to have it in a kind of one picture. But I was told that I should talk about policies, and I'm not a kind of politician or administrator. We are kind of investors, so we want to talk with companies as well. So what was important was to showcase also the business models of companies. And this is actually a list of most interesting companies in Finland, and companies are fighting to get in it because they want to showcase that they have real circular economy solutions. So we listed a certain kind of understanding what are the circular economy business models, and based on that we selected around 50 companies in the first round, and you can find them online, so there's no point going through them. But maybe as an example of the product life extension, there's a company called Valtra on the right-hand side, and they manufacture tractors, and they introduced the kind of a bottle deposit model from the consumer sector, where you pay the deposit and then you get the money back when you return the bottle, to their core business model of free manufacturing of gearboxes. So the customer pays the deposit for the gearbox, and when it's kind of wear down, return it and they get another one. And when they manufacture it, it's around 70% of the list price, and the company says that it's better than new. And it's even better for the factory level workers because you can't use robots. They are tricky problems, so you can't do the automation in it. So, and it's a growing business for a company. Oh, I was too fast. So just to finish with our flagship project, which is the World Circular Economy Forum. It was held in Helsinki in June. 1,800 decision makers in circular economy came to Helsinki. Well, we thought first that we get maybe 300 people, but it boomed. So it was a crazy project, another one that we did, and it was great partnership model with Ellen MacArthur Foundation, European Commission, United Nations, and people from over 100 countries came to Finland. And we will have this next year, hopefully in Asia, so keep in tune of our next news about it. And 2019, it will be back to Helsinki, so I'm looking forward to see you all there. Thank you very much.